Welcome back to AM Northwest. If you're in a new relationship, knowing how to handle Valentine's Day can really be tricky. Here to share some helpful tips, we welcome back relationship and dating expert Kelly Marie. Great to see you again.
Hey, great to see you too.
I bet when you're in a new relationship and Valentine's Day comes around, all of a sudden you have different people with different expectations, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And people lock up in fear because am I going to get what I need if they have this like want more expectation, and am I going to do it right if the other person isn't sure what?
Right.
So there's a lot going on around it.
You talk about keeping it low risk.
Yes.
What does that mean? And
Absolutely.
Also curiosity driven.
Yeah. So you want to keep it low risk and curiosity driven, remembering that Valentine's Day is about celebrating two things: the other person and the relationship. So if you're in a new relationship, you don't have a lot of relationship to celebrate. So keeping it low risk means celebrate the person, celebrate what you like about them, celebrate, note and make a big deal of what you really like about the person, their characteristics, their personality, things that are easy but not like you're in love or putting too much emotion into the relationship.
Yeah. So you've got to figure out what they like or what they expect, don't you?
Absolutely. So that's where you say curiosity comes into play.
Right.
If you just stay curious, whatever this other person says, if I ask, hey, what does your ideal Valentine's Day look like? You're okay with, anything from 0 to 60. Like if they're like, I don't want to celebrate it, to, oh, I think a big romantic dinner. And you're just curious because you don't have to do those things. You're just trying to see and hear and experience and find out what this person that you're dating, what makes them feel good.
Right.
That's all.
Because there can be people, and I've heard guys say this, it's just a Hallmark holiday.
Yes.
It's a phony holiday.
Yes.
As if to get out of doing something fun
Yes.
on Valentine's Day.
Yes, absolutely. And so, you're lucky if you match up and you both
Yeah.
think it's a phony holiday, but if one does and the other doesn't, then okay, this is less about the holiday and more about how does this person respond to what I like,
Right.
what I want, what I need.
Right.
Even if they think it's a phony holiday, are they willing to figure out how to do it in a pleasant way that makes me feel good, that meets my needs?
You also probably can't judge what they want or what they don't want.
No,
Right?
you're gonna if the relationship is new enough, you're not going to know what the things that are nice for them. So you want to just have that conversation. Hey, what does a great Valentine's Day look like for you? What does a great gift look like for you? And then you could take some very low-key risks. I know giving men flowers has always been received well when I've seen it done and when I've done it. There are also meat bouquets. And then
I'm sorry, what?
Meat bouquets, where you can send someone a bouquet of like meat, like salami or.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that sounds like a great idea.
I know. I would like that too.
So you say to observe what lights them up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you notice that somebody lights up with your words, like when you give them a compliment, you're going to want to go more towards a card and some written words. If somebody seems to light up, and this is getting back to the love language, if somebody seems to light up because you've done something kind for them or an act of service, you're going to want to do a little something to make maybe the night when they head to the restroom, you put a little present on their plate that's just a little low key, but says something about them, like a rose or their favorite candy bar, just something that says, I see you, I see what you like, you're important to me, without it being a big deal.
Okay, so do you ask someone directly what they like, or do you just watch them?
I mean, it's both, right? It's,
Okay.
You want to watch what they're doing because it's always fun when you can pick up on something and someone feels like you saw them. But of course, if you don't know, if that's hard for you, asking is not the wrong thing to do.
Right.
And if somebody makes it the wrong thing to do, then that's, again, good information about whether or not they're the right person for you.
I think you can, if you decide to overdo something on Valentine's Day when the relationship is relatively new,
You can tank it.
You're right.
You can really tank it. And so I think it's always best on Valentine's Day, because it's so loaded, to just do something subtle and kind and considerate,
Right.
and focus on the friendship when you're building a relationship, because you've got to have that friendship in order for the relationship to go the distance anyway.
Right, because there is no history there if you start, because you never know what's going to happen.
Right, and so you're kind of building something that doesn't exist. If you don't have a lot of dates, a lot of shared experiences, we're talking about a relationship that doesn't exist yet, and that doesn't feel genuine.
Okay, and I'm going to say something stereotypically, women usually want something more than
They
a
do.
guy. Now, that's not always the
Not
case.
always the case,
But I
and
would-
sometimes guys are really romantic and want a
Right.
little bit more too.
Right.
So, but generally, one person is going to want more than the other person.
So let's say you're the person who's expecting a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't want to tell them because they should know.
Oh, that you know,
Right?
as a marriage and
Read
family
their
therapist, that's just a dangerous road to go down.
Right.
Just be grateful if someone asks you a question that they want to know and please you.
Right.
Nobody should have to read your mind, and you should
And
just.
don't you think you should say what you want? If you don't get asked the question, you should at least tell people what you're expecting.
If you don't get asked the question, you should ask the question. And how about we just shift from not leading with what I want and lead with, hey, what works for you?
Gotcha.
And here's what works for me. And it's okay if they don't ask what works for you, but that again is information. Is this person invested in making it nice for you? If you're showing an interest in it, and they're like, you know what, I hate Valentine's Day, but I really like you.
Yeah.
What would work for you? Okay, that's a little too much for me. How about we tone it down? We just have a conversation. And my tip is, if you're an introvert, I say step it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And if you're an extrovert, dial it back a little bit.
Oh, good points there, Kelly. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
We'll have a link on our website, by the way, with more information. Thank you so much,
Thank
Kelly.
you.